Lots of good news around the country this week, including today in Victoria when it comes to the lifting of coronavirus pandemic restrictions. Crowds are back, people are opening up for entertainment and hospitality venues and outdoor gatherings and numbers at home and all the rest of it. Yet still, a month out, the Anzac Day marches are cancelled. No wonder people are getting increasingly angry. I want to catch up now with Ken Tsirgotis, who's the Chief Officer with Melbourne Legacy. Thanks for joining us, Ken. I appreciate your time. You're a veteran yourself. You think that the Anzac Day march should go ahead in some way, shape or form?
Oh, look, Chris, thank you very much for having me here and having me represent Melbourne Legacy today. Look, in my personal opinion, the Anzac Day march not only should but must proceed. It is a very important part of Anzac Day and it enables veterans and their families to take part. Basically, it's the practical application of the freedoms that our veterans and current serving members of the Australian Defence Force have fought for and fight for every day. So, yes, it should happen, it should go on.
It just seems such a perverse, I suppose, alignment of priorities, because you've had crowds at the tennis, you're looking to get more crowds at music festivals and elsewhere, and that's all good. I'm all for opening up. But what on earth is the justification for not allowing an Anzac Day march?
Look, I don't know what the justification is, but I'm sure that based on the announcement made by the Premier of Victoria today, Daniel Andrews, on the easing of restrictions around COVID, that the decision will be reconsidered and a can-do attitude and a must-do attitude be applied so that the Anzac Day march does proceed. Look,
what are you doing from Legacy? Surely Legacy, your own organisation and the RSL and other groups can directly lobby the Premier, as they should be doing in other states as well, but we're talking in particular about Victoria here, lobby the Premier and get a change of heart, because, you know, they can space it out and do whatever they like, but surely the march needs to go ahead.
Exactly. And as a representative of Melbourne Legacy, advocating on behalf of the dependents of deceased and incapacitated veterans, I urge those key stakeholders and decision makers to leverage off the great news today that the Premier announced down here in Victoria, and again, as I said earlier, leverage off that and apply a must-do attitude and make the Anzac Day march proceed.
Tell us about your recollections of Anzac Day last year. Just how much of it was of a blow was it to have such a sacred day basically sidelined?
It was really difficult, Chris, to tell you the truth. It wasn't only difficult for me, but it was in particular difficult for the elderly war widows, which suffer from social isolation, and the families of those deceased and incapacitated veterans, because they couldn't get out there and mingle amongst their friends, apply that esprit de corps, and really reflect and commemorate and be part of that practical application, as I said, of getting involved and marching. For me personally, it was a bit of a sombre occasion. I went into the driveway with my family and we commemorated and reflected that way. But once again, it wasn't ideal. But this year, we're not in the same position that we were last year. Things are different. And again, based on the announcement that the Premier of Victoria made earlier today, there is no excuse now why the march shouldn't happen, and it must happen.
Spot on, Ken. Thanks for joining us and good luck in your lobbying.
Thank you very much.
Ken Tsirgotis there from Legacy. Let's hope they can get a change of heart in Victoria.